We are on the wrong scene.
Hey, everybody, this is Amazing Fantasy Football. I am Josh, and over there is the Hank Kingsley to my Larry Sanders.
That's from, my name is Chris. That's from that show with, Sanders? Never mind. I got it wrong again.
It's the Larry Sanders Show.
Oh, right.
That sitcom in like the 90s on HBO. I've been watching it.
Gary
and it's
Shandling?
okay. Yes.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey
Funny man.
Tambor, the apparently sexual monster.
I verbally got confused with Curb Your Enthusiasm for some reason. What's his name? Larry something, right?
Who?
The main guy behind it, the main lead actor, and
Gary Shandling. You got it right.
No, of Curb Your Enthusiasm. What's his name?
Larry David.
Thank you. Okay, that's where I got confused. No, yes, Gary. Both of them, extremely funny men. R.I.P. to Gary Shandling. What a freaking funny guy. Bob Saget, Gary Shandling. You know, just underrated. I think.
For sure.
Throw that out there.
For sure. So how you doing tonight, Chris?
I'm doing amazing, as I am most Thursdays.
It's like the show.
Yeah, exactly. You love it, don't you? You love it. I know you do. Although, actually, technically, lately, I haven't been quote unquote amazing.
Because you've just turned 50.
No, I did not. No, I did not. I just turned 46 actually, but
50,
my
46, 50.
But my
I'm rounding up.
But my 3-year-old daughter, if you want to talk numbers, came down with RSV. I'm not gonna remember what the acronym.
At least she didn't pee.
It's a respiratory something virus. So it wasn't strep, wasn't COVID. It's not the croup. It's not the croup, which I used to have when I was whatever, 4, 5, 6 years old.
You were part of the croup troop?
Yep, I was. But no, she got RSV. So she was in pretty bad shape there for a bit. So much so that we took her to the emergency room yesterday to calm everybody down. She our thermostat probably reports about a darn near a degree higher, and B, the emergency room assured us she's progressing fine. But no, so what's today? Thursday? Tuesday? Whatever. One day she was pretty bad. But she's feeling so much better tonight.
When you said thermostat, did you mean thermometer?
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
caught up to it. I caught up to it, but so I was like,
right.
What does that have to do with your daughter's body temperature? Right. Oh, he meant thermometer. Anyways, we got a question here real quick, right off the bat. Jack Tessery says, trade away Taylor for Mixon or Mike Williams. Mixon and Mike Williams. That's
why am I not seeing? Go ahead. What was the question? Repeat it. I'm sorry, Josh.
Jonathan Taylor for Mixon and Mike Williams.
Trade talk?
Yeah. My first thing that I have to say to Jack is Mixon's playing right now, so wait till the game is over and make sure that Mixon makes it through the game 100% healthy before you accept this trade. Yeah. And so since the game's probably started already, just like if you do want to do the trade, I would say let's just put it on hold until week 3 or 4 is over with.
I would agree, but in general context, I'm taking the Mixon side.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I love to meet Jonathan Taylor. He's a member of my Colts. He's probably the best player on the offense.
Sure. But, and I don't know what Mixon is doing right now. I think he might have scored once already. I don't know for sure.
Looks like he's been in the 20 minutes I've been watching this game, and he's been doing okay.
That's what I thought. Anyway, I take the Mixon side in that, sir.
Yeah, I mean, if you need some upside at receiver too, that's definitely what you're getting in Mike Williams. You're going to get the dud games. You're going to get the dud games with Mike Williams. So we all know that. But if you need an upside play for a wide receiver, you got some stability in your wide receiving core. You need some upside to it.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Mike Williams.
Sorry to say that out loud. I'm trying to make sure I got the question. And
let's keep going.
Not working. Sure thing.
Chris, you're about to ask me how I'm doing, which I'm doing fine, by the way, you jerk.
Sorry, I literally have my hands full with the fact that I can't see couldn't see the messages. Now I can. How are you doing, sir? Anything interesting happening in your life, like a sick daughter or bitten hand or anything?
Chris, if I had a sick daughter, that would be some breaking news considering I don't have a daughter.
Stop the show.
Not only would I gain a daughter, I would gain a sick, defunct one at that. I'd be like, this one is not in mint condition. I am sending her back.
Yes. No, I guess we're ready to roll then with some news.
Let's bring on the onslaught of the news.
Yeah, it's a bit of
a news slot.
I go by bullet points, so it's a long one. I'll just put it that way.
All right, just be prepared.
You know what? And forgive me, listeners and viewers. I did not organize this by position, so it's going to be more like retroactively in time.
Chris does things like a Jackson Pollock.
No, I just forgot.
Where Josh does things like a well-oiled machine.
No, I just forgot.
Point proven.
More importantly, I didn't remember that I forgot until just now. So, onward and upward. Dolphins, they're playing right now. I put this in here. Well, I wasn't sure where we'd be at with the game, but I just was like, whatever. Tua's playing. That's it.
I think we all know that by now.
Yeah, right. Well, unless hey, man, they might be at work. They might be mowing the lawn in the dark. I don't know, man. These are crazy people out there. I'm just kidding, folks. Keenan Allen, hamstring, limited, but leaves practice early today, Thursday.
Ooh.
Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert was upgraded today to a full participant in practice for the first time since suffering his rib injury. So, gonna play
While we're on the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Their left tackle Rashawn Slater is out for the season, and Do you have anything on their center Corey Linsley?
I think he's back. He's back. In fact, okay. I cut off this update because I just trying to keep it a little short, and I think it included Lindsay update, which was I think he's practiced today.
Okay. I'm stopping here. I'm worried about the Chargers offense right now because that missing that key part right there, and apparently the right side of the line isn't playing very well either. So I'm a little worried about this loss at left tackle.
This would be pretty crazy this week or to do this live if I ask you this and you give me the wrong answer or I give you the wrong answer. But you have RBs this week, right, for your Fave 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you include Eckler?
Hell no.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm terrified, man. I'm scared to death of Eckler.
I mean, if I have Eckler right now, I would.
Except for the fact that I just pulled off a big trade with you in Dynasty, I generally don't have a problem telling you that I'm going to wait to sell high on Eckler in Dynasty. Like, he's gone, man. He's gone. I'm not saying he's done, folks. He's been a fine, especially full PPR back. He's still hitting double digits. No, he's not the, gosh, man, top 3, top 2, top 5 guy that I thought he was going to be. But he might still be a darn good RB2. Let me be
No one is right now, Chris. No one is. So that's okay.
Oh, that's a good point. The RB scoring is down. Let's continue with the news. We just touched on Herbert. Looks like he's going to go. I don't know.
I touched Herbert. Yes, I did.
Chris Godwin, hamstring out Thursday with rest. So he was limited Wednesday, but out completely on Thursday.
They're probably managing his injury.
Yeah, because they got to have somebody. Although I think Evans is healthy, so whatever. But
yeah, Evans is healthy and back from his 1-game suspension. Back with a vengeance.
There you go. That's what's rattling around in my brain back there. Dameon Pierce, running back for the Texans, hip upgrades to full on Thursday. So yeah,
that's good. We're going to be talking about him later.
Yeah. Hey, that has me excited as a manager of his in a league or two. Miles. Okay, so I'm sorry, Miles Sanders and Devonta Smith for the Eagles. Miles with a hip, Devonta with a back, upgraded to full participants on Thursday. David Montgomery, ankle, knee, destroyed leg, doesn't practice Thursday.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you'll include the low-hanging fruit of a Khalil Herbert in your Fave 5, but I'm not saying. I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. He looked amazing, and in most leagues, I think he was probably already on somebody's roster.
Thanks for the compliment, Chris, but I'm not playing football, so therefore you can't put me on your fantasy team.
Right. James Conner, knee limited again Thursday, meaning he was limited Wednesday also. So keep an eye on that.
And he was rather limited last week too.
He was. Yeah, he was.
I mean, in the game on Sunday,
in the game itself,
in a sense that he gave up touches to Eno and Benjamin, who was not very effective whatsoever, and Darrell Williams.
A little disappointed in that.
I'm not surprised at all. Anyways,
I'm not, but I mean, I didn't bring him up on the show whatsoever, but I was kind of hoping to see something. Didn't happen.
Did in preseason.
I did?
Or
like once.
Twice, 3 times a lady.
No, I didn't.
Keep going.
That was Connor. Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey did not practice again with a thigh issue. My understanding, I'm sorry, I didn't include the tweet or the quote, whatever. My understanding is there is still optimism that he plays. He's kept it close to the vest, but barring a setback, he should be okay. I think it was one of the big wigs. I think it was Schefter or...
it doesn't matter. Keep moving.
Exactly. Njoku held out of practice on Thursday for rest.
Mm-hmm.
We might touch on him a little bit later. Spoiler.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I know. I don't usually like him. Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones has been added to the injury report with an ankle injury and did not practice today on Thursday. Jones leads the team with 19 receptions through 3 through 3 games. Kirk doesn't
week
have
4.
More? Kirk doesn't have more? That's crazy.
I don't think so. Dude, Zay Jones is...
It must be yards and touchdowns for Kirk then, because he's a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, Zay Jones is a
No,
surprise so far.
no, he's looked nice. He's looked nice. I actually almost included him. I chose not to.
Thanks, buddy. I tried a little bit extra today.
What's that? Right. Cordell Patterson, knee out again Thursday. I don't have any more details on that at this moment. Jonathan Taylor, toe, back at practice on Thursday. Gabe Davis, receiver for Buffalo, ankle, not practicing Thursday. We might talk a little bit about him later.
Didn't
Matt
he
Jones,
sit out last week?
Yes. Or was it week 2? I don't have it in front of me. I have it on a different tab in front of me. Let's put it that way. Pardon me. Onward and upward. Mac Jones has yet to. That's not correct. I must have a lit. I swear.
Mac Jones has been downgraded to doubtful for sure.
I thought he was. I thought he was downgraded to out.
The last I saw was doubtful.
I guess this update is a day old. Anyway, Mac Jones has yet to.
Speaking of which, you should probably message the person who's playing me this week in Dynasty because he currently has Mac Jones as his starter.
Anyway, Dalvin Cook shoulder on practice field Thursday. On practice field. Okay. That's
on the practice field.
Vague. Yeah, and that's what it says.
And well, I mean, we can also insert words in there too. Anyways, so it sounds like he's going to play this week.
I think so.
It has a partially dislocated shoulder, which sounds terrible, by the way.
But he's had this before,
and he's gonna wear a harness. Usually, I believe in the past he's sat out with it, like he missed a week and then came back with a vengeance.
Are you implying, or are you teeing up a question for? Do you just sit him regardless? Worried?
No, because he plays at 8:30 in the morning Central Time, so I'm going to know pretty darn early on Sunday whether he's playing or not.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, in your face.
Yeah. I would hope most Cook owners own Madison.
I prefer managed, but whatever. Okay, let's keep the good times rolling.
I was so good at that before. My apologies. DeAndre Swift, shoulder. Not practicing Thursday. I have a previous update to read off to you real quick here. Lions head coach Dan Campbell said today that running back DeAndre Swift could possibly benefit from taking the next 2 weeks off to help his shoulder heal, then return after Detroit's bye to play October 23rd against Dallas.
Yeah, I heard there was some grumblings. Granted, this was on Monday that they were thinking about maybe putting him on the IR, just to make sure he comes back 100% healthy. This is a dude that has 4 runs of 20+ yards, 2 of which are over exactly 50 yards. I mean, the dude's been electric. I think they should probably.
He's still like the RB7 or something. I was surprised.
He's like the RB4.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I was surprised to see that. I was like,
he's
so efficient and big play oriented. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, I think that it sucks because if he's on your team, you obviously want him to play and be healthy. But at the same time, don't you want him to be healthy? And so maybe have him take a week off this week and then potentially come back next week and be healthier, if not ready to play next week. Potentially.
I mean, that's fine if I'm 2-1 or 3-0. Yeah, but you and I both know that. You know what I mean? Like. There might be a part of you if you're 0-3 or 1-2 to be like, I just need a TD from him, Like that's all I need. Just make one big run, limit his work.
And guess what? You should have picked up Jamal Williams then.
I was gonna say, I don't want to repeat the same thing I said with Cook, because I've seen more teams that have Jamal Williams without managing Swift. So he's a hot play.
Jamal
this week.
Williams was
a good play this week.
Jamal Williams was like the pickup this week, maybe outside of Khalil Herbert, but
exactly.
Actually, Jamal Williams was like the pickup last week.
That's probably better said. Yeah. Okay. Onward and upward. The Bucks and Chiefs game will be played as scheduled on Sunday night in Tampa. That is due to the hurricane that I just forgot the name of. Ian. Thank you. I got it. Yes. Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Lions ankle was absent on Thursday practice.
Concerning.
TJ Hawkinson of the same team, foot back practicing Thursday. I'm a little concerned about St. Brown also. Schultz, tight end for the Cowboys, to log a full practice on Thursday. So I assume this was he ended up doing that. He was limited Wednesday, so he's definitely trending in. Alvin Kamara, his court hearing is delayed until November. So
9th.
Oh, thank you. I didn't get to that detail. I don't know where that.
And
falls
that's just a hearing too.
Does that even fall in the fantasy playoffs, or is that like?
That's in the middle of the season, dude. And it's a hearing, not a court date. It's a court hearing.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. What happens in hearings is that it could be a hearing on whether they even file charges or they go through with an actual court proceeding or delay it again. Whatever. A hearing is just a hearing, man. Obviously, it's been a long time since you've been arrested. I mean, I've never been arrested. Okay, continue on. Quick. Keep moving.
Julio Jones with a knee is limited in practice Wednesday.
I bet Julio hasn't been arrested.
I don't have a Thursday update for Julio at my fingertips here. Zach
arrested.
Wilson. I'm talking about Julio Jones, not my arrest record, sir. Zach Wilson.
And he was arrested.
Zach Wilson is back and will start this week for the Jets against the Steelers. Rob.
Whoa.
Fela
really?
Says. Yep.
That's actually like right on time because they were talking about. Mm-hmm. And you know what's really weird is that Joe Flacco's been actually okay for him. Like, not great. Don't get me wrong.
He's not been sure like after week 3, but at one point they were leading the league in passing yards or attempts or both.
Attempts.
Okay, and very high yards also. But
I would hope so with that many attempts.
But no, Zach is back. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about a little bit of trade talk before we get off air.
Let's do that. Let's make a note to maybe do that at the end of the show.
I've got.
Maybe we can talk about how we feel about the Jets players moving forward. We're going to talk.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh. Didn't mean to cut you off.
We'll ask about friends. We'll ask for friends on Sunday. Anyways, let's keep rolling.
No, in the asking for a friend segment of this show, I've got some rate the trades. Rate the trade
on Sunday.
We're not going to do trades tonight. A little bit. Anyway, Zach, New Orleans head coach doesn't think Winston will miss week 4.
I think he should, but anyways, what do I know?
Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is not expected. No, it's Prescott. Button. Is not expected to practice today, Thursday, having just gotten his stitches out of his surgically repaired thumb. This week appears too ambitious, though he does have an outside shot for next week versus the Rams. I don't know when their bye is, but I wouldn't mind one more Cooper Rush start, but maybe we'll talk about him later. Sterling Shepard tore his left ACL. His season is over, per Brian Dable, the coach. Yeah. Feel bad for this guy, man. He was man. He was greeted with a lot of slaps on the shoulder and handshakes and hugs on the cart on his way off the field by both Cowboys and Giant players. Really sad to see that, man. Just he looked good. He was one. I hate to make a general statement about it, but he's one of these former Achilles sufferers that looked great.
You
man.
Said it right.
I know. I've been working on it. Go back and listen to last week's show. I've been working on it.
You think I pay attention to you? Jesus.
Can I hang up on this man? No, he looked great. And, throw out the other names, Robinson, and there was another one I was surprised to hear. I was like, oh, that was an Achilles, wasn't it? Anyway, we're almost done here, folks. Chargers wide receiver Jalen Guyton suffered a torn ACL on Sunday and is out for the season, per a source. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell said running back Dalvin Cook is day-to-day with his shoulder injury. So there's the other Dalvin Cook update that I had greatly out of order. My apologies. Depending on what order you're talking about.
It's par for the course. Time's a circle anyways, man.
It's actually literally not. No, that's not true. There were shows when neither of us were doing it in order of position. But I was doing it for the past week or
Time's
two.
a circle, man. You're just circling back around.
It's week 3. Or
we're back at 8 o'clock again already.
Huh?
It's just a circle. We're just going in a circle, man.
All right,
we're
how
back
about
at
you
8
start
o'clock
with running backs? Just
hey, everybody, this is Amazing Fantasy Football. I am Josh, and I am here to talk about Najee Harris. You thought I was going to keep going with that, didn't you?
I was like, does he not know we started the show already? I'm so confused.
You might think that me talking about Najee Harris is a bit of a no-brainer, but
I disagree.
Especially for a guy who went in the first round in most drafts. But Najee Harris, he's only averaging 10.9 points per game, and which making him the RB17 on the year. Dude, I gotta say, 10.9 points for the RB17 is pretty sad.
How about carries? That's a big part of it. Carries and targets. He's not getting as much opportunity.
Yeah, because Mr. Briscoe's not very good.
Well, yeah, sure, there's that too, but also opportunity.
Okay, it's been a down year for RBs, like I just said. But guess who Najee Harris gets this week? He gets the Jets. Jets. The Jets are giving up 20.2 points per game, which is the 11th most to RBs. Najee Harris has been on 69.6% of the team snaps, which is sixth highest amongst all running backs in the league. So I'm looking for a much stronger performance from Najee Harris this week. The Jets are really not that good on defense, at least not at the moment. They've sunk a lot of draft capital into their defense, but at the moment, after the first 3 weeks, I have no reason to believe that the Jets are going to be able to stop Najee Harris on land, sea, or air. Ooh, nasty injury for
not really a bounce back game, just to maybe get back to previous form type of game.
I was going to say it was more of a get right game.
Okay. Yep. We might talk about that later about another individual player.
Next.
I'm up. Holy moly, I was not ready for that. All right, so I'm going to start with my first receiver here, and Chris Olave.
Nice.
He caught 9 of his 13 targets last week for 147 yards. He leads all receivers in targeted air yards. The week before that, leads all receivers in led all receivers in targeted air yards the week before that, and currently leads all wide receivers in air yards with 536. The next closest is tight end Mark Andrews with 376.
Yeah, Mandrews.
Yeah. But that's historic level production. Actually, literally, it's not actually production. It's just air yards, folks. But it's usually a good indicator of production yet to come. He leads all Saints wide receivers in snaps, target share, and routes ran. The Vikings are 14th worst in fantasy points per game given up to the wide receiver position and have given up the 4th most passing yards in the league. I love me some Chris Olave, not only this week, but moving forward.
Yeah, man, you're the one that got me kind of on him in the preseason, like especially pre-dynasty draft.
Amazing, man.
He's kind of the thing that we kind of thought he was going to be. It was just a field stretcher for Jameis Winston, who can just
deep ball. He throws a nice deep ball, but he also has the YOLO ball, so you have to kind of swallow that with the
this just in
sandwich. Yes.
Tua is down and not looking good.
I didn't drop Wentz. I was gonna.
Anyways, keep going. Was that all you had on Chris Olave?
That was it for Olave, yes, sir. It's up to you now for your next RB.
Okay, my next running back is Alvin Kamara. This would have typically been a low-hanging fruit call in week 1, but Alvin Kamara has been unstartable through his first 2 games that he's actually played in this year because he missed week 2, so that's why I say the 2 games. In weeks 1 and 3, he scored 6.1 and 6.3 points respectively. I know Alvin Kamara was kind of banged up in week 3, but despite his rib injury, Kamara has still touched the ball 17 times. Last week was only the 3rd time since the beginning of 2021 that Alvin Kamara touched the ball 16 or more times and scored less than 15 fantasy points. Half PPR, of course.
Jeez.
You can look at this 2 different ways. One, he's clearly injured, or 2, it's just an anomaly. I'm thinking it's the latter. Kamara is getting the Vikings this week in London, who are giving up 21.4 fantasy points, which is tied for the 6th most to running backs. They're giving up 110 rushing yards per game, 1 touchdown, on average 1 touchdown per game, over 6 receptions per game, good for Kamara, and 40 receiving yards per game to running backs. That's just to running backs. Last week, Mark Ingram was in the mix, and I expect him to be this week as well, as Kamara, like we said, is still dealing with that rib injury. But I love Kamara to get a bounce back, have a bounce back game this week.
Hope so. Hope so.
I have him on no fantasy teams, but I just
in on that with or without Jameson. Andy Dalton's their backup, to remind folks out there.
Yeah, Dalton's a very capable backup.
Backup, yeah. Okay, I agree.
And like so, I was struggling with running backs this week. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, dude,
Just a peek behind
receivers.
Just receivers was easy.
Oh, they're decent.
Running backs were a little bit harder. So I was going for guys that, big names that have kind of struggled, which they were a
second
plenty.
one, I think, maybe second big one.
Yeah. Which were a plenty.
I like it.
But like, just guys that potentially have struggled through the first few weeks. Look for them to get right. Don't sell them just yet. That sort of thing.
I might have like one, so I'm a little opposite you this week. But anyway, are you ready for me to move on?
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a lot of in the books here. Now we're going with Romeo Doubs. With Sammy Watkins placed on IR and Christian Watson out.
No, wait.
Although that's a little up in the air right now.
I'm gonna stop you here for a second. So on. What was it? The Fox game of the week last week. They were saying Romeo Doubs.
I think I'm saying it wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong.
I have no idea.
I refuse. No, I'm just kidding. I'll change. I'm pretty sure it's Dobbs, which doesn't spell Dobbs to me. But hey, if that's the man.
How does that spell Dobbs? That's obviously Dobbs.
Dobbs is usually DOWS. All the Dobbs I've ever known. I know. I agree. I hear you.
Because you've done so many Dobbs in your life.
If he's the guy that says Dobbs, then it must be Dobbs. But I've never seen Dobbs spelled that way. And Dubs is so much better.
Is this a Sunday night game?
I don't know off the top of my head. I have the schedule of here if need be.
I was gonna say I have it right here too. It is not the Sunday night game.
Either.
Anyways, all right, keep going. I was hoping it'd be on TV so I can listen to how he says his name. But anyway,
sure. I'd have to double check on Christian Watson's status, but as of now, I think he's still out. With Watkins placed on IR and Christian Watson out, Dobbs leads all Packers in targets. Dobbs led all Packers in targets last week and caught a 5-yard score from Aaron Rodgers in the first drive. For those of you who don't know, typically within a week's time, you only have time to script 1 or 2 drives. That means they spent time during the week to scheme Dobbs open for a red zone look. He caught all 8 of his targets, and his snaps shot up to 89%. Again, injuries.
And if you didn't know, Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Keep going.
Okay. And the Patriots have given up the 9th most passing touchdowns in the league. So, yeah, I like Dobbs this week to give us something, man. Yeah, he's kind of... I was on him during the off season and the beginning of the season. So, yeah, it was a little touch and go there for a minute. But, yeah, I'm glad he's on my Dynasty roster.
My next guy is Jamal Williams. Go figure. Right. This is based mainly on the stipulation that DeAndre Swift doesn't play, which it sounds like even if he does play, it's still going to have Williams get the bulk of the workload. Craig Reynolds and likely Jamar Jefferson and or Justin Jackson will be coming off the practice squad to help spell J-Will. The Lions are going up against the Seahawks, who are giving up 21.4 fantasy points to running backs. Like I said, J-Will not be in on every snap, but he was very efficient last week.
He's going to be the goal line guy. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, well, not necessarily, because Craig Reynolds did some goal line work last year, I believe.
Last year? Or last week?
I meant last year.
Okay, I don't like. You said last year. You said last year. I was just curious.
Okay.
My apologies.
I mean, Jamal Williams was the RB7 so far, and he scored 22.
He's the RB7.
Yes, because of last week.
I know. Yeah. I just wow. Go ahead.
It doesn't take much to become the RB7 right now, dude.
God dang it.
I'm sorry. He scored 23.7 fantasy points last week. He only had a couple of receptions, but those were for 20 yards, through the air. I mean, Jamal Williams so far this year has been what we were kind of hoping he would be last year. Now,
Took the words right out of my mouth, sir.
Now, whether he had some sort of like epiphany in the offseason, or he was a little banged up going into last year, or maybe he just worked a little bit harder in the offseason and he's in better shape this year. I'm not really sure, but Jamal Williams is definitely playing at the level that we were the two of us, at least, were
He's a
kind
good
of
football
hoping he
player.
would be for the Lions last year.
Absolutely.
He's not the home run hitter that DeAndre Swift is, but he's better in between the tackles. Than Swift is. Swift is more of an outside, outside the line guy. He can go through the tackles, but that's more Jamal Williams sort of game. So I like Jamal Williams this week. I like him a lot, and I kind of like Hawkinson too. If Amon-Ra St. Brown it doesn't go.
Oh my
but
God.
What?
I'm sorry. Please finish, and I'll interrupt during the transition to the next player. Go ahead.
Well, you've already interrupted. Keep going. I was done.
Tua tackle.
Yeah, he got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, he's going out on a stabilizing board.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure this time he's definitely concussed. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Back injury for Tua, says somebody else. Go ahead, sir. I just thought it was important to interject.
No, I'm pretty much done. Jamal Williams,
cool.
Like I said, it's kind of based on DeAndre Swift not playing, but like I said at the beginning, even if Swift does play, I don't see Swift getting the workload that he has been getting. Not even close. I bet he touches the ball.
Something's got to
times.
give, man. Yeah, exactly. Either they're going to do what Dan Campbell said, and they're going to sit him for a couple weeks, or really reduce that workload. Try to get the optimum, big play carries for him and the target and space for him, but really limit that down to less than 15, I would say, total touches.
Yeah.
And again, I think Jamal was the goal line guy with a healthy Swift, but I digress.
Yes and no. It kind of depends on what the scheme was for that goal line stand. If they wanted to take it out wide, Swift is the better guy. I don't know. Yeah, it is probably Jamal Williams, but not necessarily. Swift does have some power. He's not.
He's more slide build.
Yeah, he's not Jerome Bettis. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Next, I've got DJ Chark. Up front, just to give you guys a heads up, he's only rostered in 44.2% of leagues.
Isn't he a little banged up too?
I thought I vetted that, I swear, and I didn't see it.
Maybe he was on the injury report
designation
yesterday, but then he got bumped off of it today.
Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble with hurt receivers with ankles. I'm not gonna lie, Josh.
Because they all have a hurt ankle.
Oh my God! You were on this a week ago. Now this week I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyway, let me continue. Again, rostered in only 44.2% of leagues. As mentioned earlier, Amon-Ra St. Brown is very much trending out, having missed practice Thursday, but also mentioned earlier, Chark is dealing with his own ankle injury. My apologies.
I don't see anything on
now.
Fantasy
Exactly.
Pros
See, I went to go back and vet that statement.
Keep going.
There was nothing there.
I'll keep
but even if Amon-Ra suits up, I like Chark this week. Friday will be huge for the Lions receivers. Keep an eye on their practice reward. I mean, someone has to play, right? Chark is 11th in air yards across the NFL, and is the Lions' clear deep threat this year. The Seahawks have only given up the 14th most passing yards in the league, but have also given up the 3rd most rushing yards. I like the Lions to establish the run with the aforementioned Jamal Williams and take deep shots to Chark off of play action. Should be a reasonably high scoring affair with a 47.5 over under, tied for the second highest this week. So yeah, DJ Chark, nice flex worthy guy this week.
Can I take a pin to your balloon here?
Sure.
He has yet to practice this week. DJ Chark, that is. He fractured his ankle apparently.
Fractured? How did I miss that? Going back how many days?
I don't know if that's 100% true. There is so much smoke and mirrors with these injuries between all these websites. Dude, I'm not lying, man. It is hard to parse through all of this, like the BS. Excuse my I'm referring to a profane word, but I mean, it is just a bunch of malarkey out there with all these websites that one saying this, another one being fake.
Out Thursday. That's
just, yeah.
I don't know. That's confirmed, but.
All right, so what I learned this week is that the NFL doesn't have to have an official injury report until Wednesday.
Right.
That's a real bummer for the show because we do it on Thursday, so you have to collect a lot of stuff last minute.
Right.
That's some behind the scenes stuff, but it's also there for which in years past you like on Monday you would know something about a player's injury that happened on Sunday, and now it's wait. Okay, maybe we get some vague statement. Like, come on, let's get some clarification, NFL. Like,
I feel like one of the two are gonna play. Now, did I see the injury happen? No. Am I a doctor? No.
Yeah,
but I just feel like as a team that's
you just play
really holding on to some momentum. I don't know if they're 1-2 or 2-1, but offensively they've really putting on a show. I know they're really bad defensively. We'll talk about that later a lot. But yeah, I don't know if either of them are going to go at this point. Josh, that's a good point. That's a very good point. But
I know we spent a little bit of time on that.
No, I'm glad we did. I'm glad we did. That's all I got on Chark. Let's hope he goes. Again, both for Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and DJ Chark. Please keep the eye on their Friday practice report because they could still get in a limited session and go. I think they might just be resting these guys. Maybe not both, but one of them.
I don't know.
I'm holding out hope, optimistic hope, but you make a very good point, sir. Who do you got next?
My next guy is Damian Pierce, as I alluded to earlier. When I saw this matchup, I didn't quite think this would go in Pierce's favor, given his performance last week. I said, but given his performance last week, which was 20 attempts for 80 yards. That's an average of 4 per touch. That's not bad. 1 touchdown, 2 catches for 21 yards, over 10 yards a catch. Not bad either. I wanted to see if Damian Pierce managers could count on him again this week. Turns out the Chargers are giving up 20.7 fantasy points per game to running backs. That's pretty good, right? They're giving up an average of 100 yards on the ground, which is Pierce's actual strength. But, they're also giving up 6 receptions per game to running backs as well. So, I mean, I could see that Pierce getting a few more receptions this week too. I think that you can start Pierce with confidence this week. I'm not sold as Pierce being an every week starter yet, but I think you look for him to be a strong RB2 this week.
And reminder to folks, he was a full participant today in practice with it.
Keep going. I said
next up we've got Gabe. Speaking of ankles, wide receivers and whatnot, Gabe Davis. I'm gonna give you Gabe Davis. I'm gonna give you Gabe Davis / Isaiah McKenzie for this, folks.
/ Stephon Diggs. All three.
Well,
of these
I mean, come on.
This is an amazing
I see what you're
matchup.
saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, good point.
And throw Josh. I know we're talking about wide receivers. Throw Josh Allen in that mix too, dude. The Ravens are not the Ravens' defense of yore, dude.
No, absolutely. Newsflash: the Ravens. I just hit the wrong button. Newsflash: the Ravens' secondary is horrible. They have given up the most passing yards and the most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. McKenzie actually has 3 red zone targets to Davis's 1, and has converted 2 of them for touchalls. Obviously, this is the highest. Right. Obviously, this is the highest scoring over/under of the week at a 50.5, and should be a shootout between 2 MVP caliber quarterbacks. I cannot speak enough on how well Lamar is playing right now. It's amazing. That's a little off subject, but still. Depending on their status, respectively, I love the Buffalo wide receivers this week, to Josh's earlier point. Like, I just think it's a smash. I think it's a chalk play, man. Again, to be clear about Mr. Gabe Davis, he came up to, I think he was he limited or full Wednesday? And then he came up today with an ankle injury. And there's footage on Twitter of him, I think, slipping. And it looked serious enough to be concerned. I'll just put it that way. So Isaiah McKenzie might be the better pivot.
Really sucks. I really thought Jamison Crowder was going to be like the slot guy in Buffalo, and Isaiah McKenzie, go fly a kite, is taking that role.
I think you had convinced me to a point. I think I might have included him in a segment off of some of your.
I just didn't believe in a 5th or 6th year guy turning it around at this point in his NFL career and becoming a thing. But I guess if Josh Allen's your quarterback and believes in you, well, there you go, buddy. Okay. I know we do 5 players. I have 3 more running backs.
Dear Lord. I was going to make fun of you about tight ends a week or 2 ago. I was like, come on, man.
Well, I kind of lost track of where I was in my notes because I do some of my notes on the bus on my way to work.
So you just kept going?
And I did some. Well, I did some. Well, I did. I started at home, and then I did some on the bus. I didn't realize that I already had like 3 or 4 at home, and I did like 3 more on the bus. So,
All right. Well,
whatever.
Well, hurry along.
Okay. Hurry. I am hurrying.
A couple bullet points.
They're gonna be quick. My next one. This is kind of more of a gut call because it is one guy versus the other, and it is Michael Carter. I'm going back to the Michael Carter well this week. Obviously, I sort of have to in one league that I'm in, but Michael Carter's getting the Steelers. Yes, he's splitting time with Breece Hall, but another guy I like this week, by the way. I do like Breece Hall, but I wanted to showcase Michael Carter.
We might talk about him in the trade segment that we're going to do this week.
Michael Carter is actually averaging more touches per game than Breece Hall, just barely. Breece Hall is being slightly more efficient with them. Hall is being more efficient with the reception work. Carter is just slightly more efficient on the ground. So it's 1A, 1B with these two guys, and they're probably actually hurting each other's fantasy value. But I'm maybe a little biased for Michael Carter, but I'm sticking with Carter here this week.
Can I interject real quick? Who do you believe is a superior player overall, talent-wise?
It's
really
Breece Hall by some.
I'm a little surprised by the hesitation.
Breece Hall by some, but not like a lot.
It's a valid opinion, absolutely. It's a bit vague. I agree with you there, sir. I do. But
it's more than 0 that he's better than Michael Carter. They're two different playing. They're like apples and oranges, man. Like Carter's like the DeAndre Swift and to the Breece Hall's Jamal Williams. Only Breece Hall is better than Jamal Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like they're different players. Carter's more elusive. Breece Hall's more power. That sort of thing.
Of course.
They both have each other's traits, but they're not. Hall isn't as elusive as Carter is, and Carter's not as powerful as Hall is. So that's apples to oranges.
Okay.
Maybe more like an orange to a Tangelo.
You lost me at Tangelo.
I think I lost myself at Tangelo.
I think your koozie was orange, though.
Keep going.
Are you all finished up there, sir?
I lost myself at Tangelo, so yes.
And then I just hit the wrong button again. All right. Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett has apparently become a high floor possession wide receiver with Geno at quarterback. With 8.7 targets per game, with 8.7 targets per game on the season and averaging a solid 91.5 receiving yards over the last 2 weeks. I love Lockett in this juicy matchup. Similar to the Ravens, you are usually in good shape targeting the Lions defense, giving up the 6th most fantasy points to games to wide receivers and the most points in the league overall, period, in the NFL. Yeah, Tyler Lockett, solid flex this week. One of my Tyler
Lockett
flexes.
Or Tyler Lockett or Jerry Jeudy?
Lockett.
Okay, Tyler Lockett or Hollywood Brown?
Hollywood Brown. I don't know its matchup, but I'm going Hollywood Brown on.
The Panthers.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown.
Interesting. Jerry Jeudy or Hollywood Brown?
Hollywood Brown.
Interesting. Okay. That's
well, I mean, I had Jeudy behind, so yeah. Behind the aforementioned Tyler Lockett. Why would I have him above your Hollywood?
Dude, I'm tired.
Leave me
alone.
Show rolls on. Are you done? Are you done?
No, I'm not done.
You have 7 more. Go ahead, sir. I
have the rest of the NFL left. This is going to be quick. We already touched on him already. Khalil Herbert, Giants giving up the 5th most points to RBs, which is 21.5 points per game. Herbert was electric last week after Montgomery went down. I'm not going to call that. I'm not going to say that.
Is it the changing of the guard?
I'm not saying that just yet.
I am. I'm all in.
Dude, I got to say, so like last year, if you remember, I'm like, dude, David Montgomery looks good, right?
You're not wrong.
And then this year, I watched a couple of Bears games, and he looks like he did in his rookie year. Like he was just he's just so meh, like. And they're playing behind the same offensive line. I think he's been
underwhelming his whole career. He just dominated in a weak defensive conference in the Big 12.
okay, like I said, man, he looked pretty good last year. You
You're
watched
right.
him
Again,
You watched him last year, and
I
he
was
was past the
deceived.
eye test. And this year, it is just a whole lot of meh. Like it's just like
It's a
it's
really
so
bad team too, to be fair to him.
and so my one fear about Khalil Herbert is that because sometimes the backup comes in and the defense was scheming for David Montgomery, and the backup comes in and blows them out of the water, and then the next week he kind of underwhelms because they're planning for Khalil Herbert now. This is a real thing in the NFL, folks.
That's fair. At that matchups is uber important in the NFL.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with the way Khalil Herbert looked. He looked, like I said, he looked electric. Let's roll into the next guy. This one is gut call and gut call alone. He hasn't been very good so far this year, but Travis Etienne. I think the Jags are going to have to throw to keep up the Eagles' offense. The Eagles' offense is high flying, no pun intended. Well, maybe a little bit, and that should mean some more playing time for Etienne. Etienne is getting a lot of receiving work, and the Eagles are giving up 6 receptions per game to running backs. That's Travis Etienne's gig.
That's not bad. Yeah, I like.
So I'm calling a lookout call. Like, if you're hurting for a running back and you have Etienne sitting on your bench, he's been underwhelming so far. If you're hurting for an RB this week, I think that you could do worse than Etienne. You could go, I don't know, I'd say like CMC this week. He doesn't have the greatest matchup this week. I don't remember who the Panthers are playing. I literally just said it. The Cardinals, that's actually a pretty good matchup. It's like CMC, I was looking at because I was eyeballing a trade for CMC, and like after this week, it's like a murderer's row
For CMC?
Yeah.
Ooh,
of good rushing
too,
defense.
man. They're a bad team too.
Yeah.
He's been fine. He's been good. I'll say good at best. He's been good. And apparently he's going to play again. And he I think it was himself saying he feels good, if I remember.
I think they're just managing CMC's
as well they should,
practice, like off the field football usage, just to keep him as fresh as possible. It's kind of a shame they didn't bring in another back, just someone that this Dolphins kicker is terrible, by the way. He just clanged another one.
I'm just disappointed I just lost my gosh darn quarterback in Tua, but whatever.
I know. I needed him in my work league.
Dude, I picked him up for free.
Yeah,
free and clean. Huh? Oh, in your work league?
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the Super Stream segment. Are you all done with RBs?
Yeah, like I said, Travis Etienne gut call. Chase Edmonds just scored another touchdown, by the way.
Weird.
Etienne gut call. Anyways, here we go. Tight ends. Chris, I want you to go first and last, but leave your one guy who may or may not be a chief of a tribe for second.
You want me to leave him for second? Okay.
Yes.
Then my first guy is Robert Tonyan.
I was gonna say if you take both of my guys, then you son of a bitch.
Patriots just gave up a huge day to Mark Andrews and are giving up the 4th most fantasy points per game to tight ends. I mean, Tonyan's not Andrews, clearly, but the Packers are a little banged up.
People are Andrews.
That's a very good point. I'm very excited about him this season. The Packers are a little banged up at wide receiver, and Tonyan was second on the team in targets last week, just behind the aforementioned Romeo Doubs. Exactly. So Tonyan's a fine dart throw at tight end this week. I feel like there's a lot of, just like there is every year, past 4 or 5, maybe even 6 if you're lucky. There's just a lot of garbage. Tonyan is some not so bad smelling garbage for you this week. So pick him up if you need to. I don't have his roster percentage here.
Okay.
He's getting
Chris, were you wondering who was on the thumbnail for this week's show?
No, it was small, Josh. I apologize. I didn't pay that close attention. It looked like a really good thumbnail.
It did look like a really good thumbnail.
It was
the tight end 4 on the season so far. And then it's Tyler Conklin, baby. That's right. Yep. Tyler Conklin.
Yep.
Conklin has only 1 touchdown so far this season, which that's what I think that speaks volumes right now, is that he only has 1 touchdown through 3 games, which may sound bad, but if you're the tight end 4 with 1 touchdown, how did he get there? with an average of 6 receptions on 8 targets and 46.7 yards per game. You already said Zach Wilson's coming back this week, so that makes me kind of hesitate on Conklin just a little bit. But he's getting the Pittsburgh D that's allowing 5 receptions per game to the tight end position, and that was against Hayden Hurst, Hunter Henry / Jonnu Smith, and David Njoku. None of which were so it wasn't like the Steelers were going up against Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce or anything in that stretch. They were going up against,
middling tight ends.
Maybe Tyler Conklin level or worse tight ends.
Or worse, yeah, for sure.
But Chris, speaking of David Njoku, that's my next guy.
That's
Chief
your next
Njoku. Yeah. Chief
That's
Njoku.
my next guy too.
I know. The Browns are playing the drum roll, please, Chris.
Oh, you're just gonna roll on through your next guy?
Yeah.
And then I have to go after you?
Yep. That's what we're doing. Anyways, the Browns are playing the pitiful Falcons. Pitiful Falcons. The Falcons are giving the second most points per game to tight ends.
Got fourth most, but go ahead.
Second. Njoku had himself a great game last week. He caught 9 of his 10 targets, 89 yards, touchdown. Chris, are you going to argue that last week was a mirage, or can we count on some more points from David Njoku?
I just think it's a combination of
matchup.
The Browns trying to piece together an offense, finally relying on an athlete that they've had on roster for feels like several years now, and the matchup is just too juicy to ignore. That's what it comes down to for me. I have basically the same kind of stats to throw out there. He had a great game, 89 yards, yada yada yada. Oh no, it was second most. My apologies, sir. Oh, I went down to Tanyan. Oh, my bad. It was second most. Good job, buddy. I'm talking to myself. I want to go with my quarterback next.
Wait, I'm not done with Njoku yet.
Oh, well then why'd you go ahead.
We were doing banter.
The banter, we both agree. Banter over.
Well, no, because I have one more point to make about David Njoku.
Okay, please.
So in weeks 1 and 2, Njoku went up against the Panthers and the Jets, who gave up the 11th and 10th fewest points to tight ends. So he had some bets. Yeah, so far. And so that was some worser matchup. That's a word. Some worser matchups. So
a little better than middle of the pack for sure. 11th and 12th.
Yeah. So he had some rougher matches to go up against, and he's got a great one this week. I like the chances of Chief Njoku to lead you and his tribe.
We might just talk about the guy that gets the ball to Chief Njoku, because there's also been some chemistry going.
Is it Matt Ryan?
No.
No, that's my guy.
Team. What are you talking about? The guy that gets the ball to Njoku. He's
Matt
also
Ryan. McCorkle Jones.
No, they don't throw the ball to David Njoku.
Vinny Testaverde.
God, what is this man talking about? Okay, it's my turn. Can I just... That's the wrong button. I did it for 3 times. Good God. Onward to the Super Stream segment, quarterback portion of the segment. Jacoby Brissett. Brissett has played pretty well this season, especially in the last 2 weeks. He and Amari have shown great chemistry and, as mentioned earlier, hooked up with Njoku for a touchdown last week. Only averaging 1.3 touchdowns per game at this point, Jacoby isn't setting the world on fire, but versus the soft AF Falcons defense, giving up the 10th most points to the points per game to the fantasy points per game to the quarterback position. I like his chances as a desperation streamer in a deep one quarterback league, or a solid quarterback 2 in a flex league. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to get a little even deeper for you with an honorable mention. You want me to continue with that, or you want to go with your guy?
Sure, whatever.
Actually, yeah, it's an honorable mention / get right game for Russell Wilson. He gets the Raiders, who are giving up the 4th most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks and the 7th most passing yards in the league. I mean, call it a get right game or a show me or get out.
I think
game.
I think it's do or die game.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, I think it'll end up being a get right game, but if it's not, talk to me next week. it's getting dicey, man. It absolutely is. But I'm putting my vote of confidence in him this week. Throw out your Suttons. Also, Sutton's been productive even with Russ not being quite so great. To be clear. Russell is my honorable mention / get right game. Who's your quarterback, buddy?
Matt Ryan. I swear this isn't a homer pick, Chris. I swear it isn't. I swear
I looked at it. I looked at it a bit.
I swear it isn't. Okay, so maybe a little bit. It's a homer pick.
End of segment. No, I'm just kidding.
But not to my knowledge, it's not a homer pick. Don't tell me it's a homer pick because I swear it's not. But it probably is a little bit. Anyways, Matt Ryan has over 15 points and 2 of his 3 starts. It's not great, but I watched a good chunk of the Chiefs game last week after I realized that it was on regular TV and I could actually watch the game. Thanks for lying to me, tvguide.com.
Oh, I forgot an update.
Anyways, so watching that game last week, the commentators actually reaffirmed what I was seeing on the screen is that a lot of the problem with the Colts offense so far is communication between Matt Ryan and Ryan Kelly. That's a really great before and after in a Wheel of Fortune puzzle. Matt Ryan Kelly. Anyways, they need to get in sync because the biggest problem is they are not assigning blockers to the A gap, the B gap, the C.
That's
so
on a center and or quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like that's a problem. That's a very fixable problem right there. But they need to get on the same page if they can.
Chemistry, practice. That's a very good point. Absolutely.
I think that this is a very, very, very fixable problem here, and the Colts are getting the drum roll, please. Titans. So first, let's start with we're here to talk about the Colts offense, not the Colts offensive line or whatever. But let's start with the Titans cornerbacks first. According to PFF, Roger McCreary is has the best pass coverage grade from PFF at 60.1. Chris, the last time I checked, 60.1 was 0.2 points away from a failing grade.
Best on the team?
Yeah, best cornerback on the team in coverage. Gotcha. Not overall.
I'm following.
Coverage. That's bad. That's real bad, dude. I like Matt Ryan in this matchup. I love Michael Pittman this week.
Yeah.
And to reaffirm that love, Michael Pittman has PFF's second best wide receiver cornerback matchup at 92.2. If you're super desperate, I would even give Ashton Doolin a chance in a pinch.
Yep, his name has been thrown out a little bit this year for sure.
Yeah, here and there. I was really hoping it's Mike Straken.
I can't say it. I'm not even trying, sir.
I think it's Straken. Anyways, so
H is silent.
Yeah, it's not Paris Campbell. He hasn't done anything so far. Maybe it's
over that. Yep.
Maybe it's a second half thing, assuming he stays healthy.
Support,
but
only in the juiciest of matchups can they support more than Michael. Can Ryan and company support more than Pittman? And he's back, I believe. So let's saddle up for that. Let's saddle up. You got that one?
Sounds like he's playing.
Did you catch that one? Did you catch that one? Saddling up on the Colts. Yep, there you go.
It would have been good if I had just caught on the first time, but you had to be like,
I couldn't. It's a problem I have, sir. So are you done with your quarterbacks, buddy? Are we on to the sleepers? Are we on to the sleepers?
Yep. Why don't you go first, Chris?
Come on, is this like a shtick of yours? Anyway,
why don't you just go first, Chris, and I'll dive in with mine once you're done.
I'm going to stick with the same position and throw out what is absolutely going to be shot down as a homer call, but I'm going to be all about it. Despite how much I am absolutely sick to my stomach about all the Cooper Rush is greater than Dak BS that's online and in people's mouths is just disgusting. But my sleeper of the week is Cooper Rush. Rush has shown great chemistry with CD and Noah Brown and also gets back both Michael Gallup and Dalton Schultz this week versus a porous Washington defense giving up the 5th most points per game to the quarterbacks and 2.7 passing touchdowns per game. Cooper Rush is my sleeper of the week. Who you got?
My sleeper of the week is Devin Duvernay.
I like it.
Who's going up against the Bills.
He hasn't been scintillating, that's for sure. He has not been that great.
he has a touchdown in every game. Hopefully, your league gives at least touchdown rewards, special teams touchdowns to the players that got them.
I saw that.
Maybe not the yardage. So he does have a touchdown in every week. I'm definitely not making this up on the fly. The Bills secondary is very, very, very banged up. According to PFF.com, why won't this website load? Why won't it load? I'm totally trying to get it to load here. Why will it not load?
All right, it's okay. No, Duvernay is a good call. Duvernay is a great call.
No. It's loading right now.
Who's he playing?
It's working. He's playing the Bills, and he is getting the
Their defense is
website.
What the up?
Edit.
Duvernay is a receiver. Bills are
well,
giving
he
up
has a very poor matchup according to PFF. But
yeah, it's not
the
that
Bills,
Bills are doing pretty well against the receivers in fantasy terms. There was something about him I liked.
Don't
I don't know
care.
what it was. It's because they're all
Duvernay.
hurt. It's because they're all hurt. All the Bills.
They're all hurt. That's what I'm not. That's why I'm. That's why I'm looking at this
the
below
only
average
healthy one
thing.
last week, and I think there might be more of that yet to come, including Tre'Davious White. So no, it's not a bad call by any means. I just burped. That's
Hey, you
okay.
wanted a sleeper. I came up with a sleeper, not on the fly. Totally did it on the bus.
Hashtag not on the fly. All right, on to questions. You know what? I was gonna update.
Well, Chris, before we get into questions, why don't we cut this show off for the recording? Everyone.
That's probably a good call because there's no questions in chat for sure.
Would you, if you would like to, if you are listening to this recording, you would like to tune into us live, that's what we are doing right meow. And was there a meow in there? That's weird.
You did it, not me.
We are at 8 p.m. Central Time. We don't know what time zone you in, so you are in, and so you do the math. You can follow me on Twitter at Josh AFFB, got it. And Chris,
and
where
you can follow me on Twitter at AFFB Chris.
And you can ask us all of your fantasy questions, your life questions. Don't ask us your life questions. That you're going down a really bad rabbit hole if you're asking us for life questions, especially me. But until next time, everyone.
Click subscribe.
Give us
Join our Discord.
Leave us a rating or review wherever possible, and maybe we'll read your review on the show. Join the Discord. Note that is the link for that is always in the show notes.
All the links are in the description.
Yep. Until next week. Oh, and check out the Sunday stream. It's at 10 a.m. Central Time where we do last minute injury updates, asking for a friend, that sort of thing. Anything else? Did I miss anything, Chris? Anything?
You nailed
anything
it. You nailed it.
Cool. Just one quick update. Tua is conscious and it has movement in all the
Good call. So I meant to do that between the players.
It's good for Tua.
Good job, buddy.
Thoughts and prayers, if you're religious, go out to Tua, of course. We wish injury upon no one.
Hopefully,
with one or two exceptions. Anyways, good luck, everyone. Catch us on Sunday, the Sunday live stream.
Pod over.
Have a good night.
All right, streamer folks, give me two.
Donald
quick
Trump's
seconds.
one of those people that I wish injury upon.
Oh, you just said that live, but that's fine.
I meant to. I was going to say in the recording.
Good call. I agree with it. Give me 2 seconds. We're going to go black for a second because I'm just going to put this update in the pop-up.
I was told
chat
I should never go black. It's really bad.
Man, we're back, folks. Sorry about that. It was not even a BRB. It was just black screen for a second because I want to update that chat thing because I don't know.
It drives him crazy, and he can't just.
We don't have anything in a chat for questions, so we'll probably go with asking for a friend. But I wanted to have it working because we got quite a few questions last week. Onward and upward. Do you have any? What do you have for this segment, sir? Do you have any asking for friends or whatnot? Twitter questions?
Yes, I would like to ask Chris.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to be 50?
I'm not 50. I'm 46. Math, sir.
I am rounding up.
I have one of the distinctions of being a true child of the 80s and the 90s, depending on how far you push childhood. 25, 18,
46.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, then I would be a Zoomer, right? No, anyway.
You wanna be?
Let me just cut to the chase here. I've got some asking for friends, and it's going to be in the form of rate the trade, because I think it's trade season. I think it's time to get that going.
We didn't say this in the show, but I'll say it right now. Sorry to interrupt.
Right?
It's week 4. Maybe come Sunday, you start, maybe this weekend before the games start on Sunday, you start looking ahead, because week 6 is bye weeks. That's when bye weeks start. I said this last week. Said it last Sunday.
I almost said something to you off air.
I'm like, we need to do this. Or we need to talk about this, and we can talk about it next week a little bit.
Maybe we're going to hit on bye weeks a little bit next week, is what you're saying?
Sure, maybe on Sunday. Well,
and some more trades maybe might be a good idea too. I'm going to sneeze. Not. Okay, so rate the trade.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Okay. Rate the trade. Pitts and Ramondre for Chris Olave and Breece Hall. Pitts and Ramondre for Olave and Breece Hall. Pick a side. Or not. Call it right up the middle.
Pitts and who?
Ramondre Stevenson, running back, New England. Chris Olave, receiver, and Breece Hall, running back, obviously.
I think the person getting or keeping Breece Hall and Chris Olave are by far and away the winner of that trade.
By far and away. Okay. On to the next one. You'll see a theme here.
Why?
I'm sorry. What? Oh, thank you. I finally sneezed.
My reason being is,
yeah, give me a why for sure. Yeah.
Okay. First off, Patriots running back, no. Like, they're good for a while, or they're good for a year. It's hard to say. I think in Dynasty, I'm assuming you're talking Dynasty.
No.
Oh, redraft?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still.
In fact, I'm going to end with I've got 3. I'm going to end with a Dynasty one. So you're firmly in the Olave Breece Hall camp. Do you think it's
I like Olave. I think that
we both do very much. Absolutely.
That even though Andy Dalton maybe not be able to.
Do you think Ramondre is a sell high? Yeah, like 18 PPR.
I think he's a hold.
Really? Okay. That seems ironic. I want to get rid of him. Be clear.
Oh, you're trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, hence the theme I'm going to stick with here for a minute. Let me give you the other redraft one. Deontay Johnson, Steelers wide receiver, and Ramondre Stevenson for Sutton and Treylon Burks.
What was the first part of the trade again?
Deontay Johnson and Ramondre Stevenson for Cortland Sutton, and Treylon Burks.
It depends. If you have
dependent, it's a very
if you have a running back to spare, then yeah. And the way running backs are this year, you probably don't. So I'm holding. Unless you somehow have
basically meaning you think Sutton and Treylon Burks are not worth. Other way around, you don't think Deontay Ramondre is worth because you're too worried about losing a running back, right?
Yeah.
I don't have my roster in front of me. I mean my friend's roster in front of me. Dynasty, Zeke and Singletary for a 2023 first.
Nope. Not even close.
What does that mean?
I'd rather have my 2023 first. Hands down, not even close.
I agree with you. But
not dude, you're going to have to throw in a lot more. A lot more.
I think you're not wrong, meaning I wouldn't do it if I was in the situation of the 2023 first, but as it always, it has to be context. Like, is the guy competing for a playoff spot? Is the guy short at running back? Is, yada, yada, yada. Is the guy doesn't know what he's doing? There's that.
So here's my thing. We were talking about, there's been a running joke for the last year or two of Zeke for a third. I'm not sure if I want to trade a third for Zeke.
I think that's a little hyperbolic. I think that's
absolutely
hyperbolic.
Here's my thing. Me
you're
personally,
cutting me
and
off.
me,
Let me finish. No, let me finish. Let me finish. However,
you cut me off.
No, not exactly. However, I feel like in hindsight, a second would have been a smash for me in the past. I mean, my friend. You know what I mean? Like if any second, like a late second, I'm like, yeah, I should have done it. And maybe we're only talking, maybe me and you are only talking about like 6 picks, and it's like that's a hair or whatever. But yeah, please go ahead with your opinion.
Unless I desperately need a guy to give me 10 points right now, I'm not doing it. I'd rather just see what's out there, because at least the way
Zeke's done almost that. Most 2 out of 3 weeks, maybe off the top of my head.
That's why I'm saying 10 points. I'm specifically saying that because that's what he scored like 2 out of 3 weeks.
Oh, good call. Okay.
Unless I need a guy to do that, I'm not doing it. Like 10 points ain't a lot, and
I think it comes down to need.
Exactly. I would rather see what's available there, and the way our dynasty league works is that there's guys that we can, like veterans that we can draft in the third. Maybe there's a quarterback that I can sit on and develop, And
I think my point is there are. Maybe this is league specific, and I can't speak for all 12-team dynasty leagues with approximately 30-man rosters, but there's a ton of teams in our league that do not have as many reasonably good running backs that you do, or even I do. Like, it's desolate. Now, and some of those teams are 3-0 or 2-1 by, I don't want to say happenstance, because maybe they deserve credit elsewhere, but they've done it without a good stable of running backs on their roster, and I'm selling the farm, so it's like, I get what you're saying, but maybe it's, if you're selling
the farm, you take Breece Hall and you try and get a first for him this year, because that's,
why would I sell Breece Hall? I just drafted him.
I know, I'm just saying.
Okay, I completely disagree with what you're saying,
because you could probably get more than just a first for him this year, because of, I mean, I'm looking at like what I would personally.
Well, I got a 2024 first for Pat Mahomes, so.
Right, but I mean, like right now, so you drafted Breece Hall as the 101, right? And he's been okay, not phenomenal.
Stupid to sell him for 2023 first.
Can you let me finish?
Sure.
So you draft him at the 101. You traded up to get him. You got him at the 101. You got your guy. Now you could sell him for another first and more. He hasn't been amazing, but you've definitely seen that there's potential there, and I think you get more than just a first for him. You can take that 101, essentially the 101 from this year, and turn him into maybe a first round this year and something else too.
This is cutting off my nose to spite my face. This Robin Peter J. Paul. That's exactly what it is. It's a lateral move. I don't think there's a running back in the 2023 draft that is far and away, to be clear, better than Breece Hall. There might be 1, 2, or 3 backs, specifically backs, that are better than Breece Hall. That is absolutely possible. I just don't think it's going to be far and away for me to take that much of a risk.
Okay.
But, I mean, to be clear, folks, this is also, take this to heart with your dynasty. Like, this is a general conversation. Me and Josh are not going at each other's throats here. I'm really curious about his perspective about Breece Hall, big picture.
I don't think that he's been anything like super special so far.
I don't think anybody thought he would in the first 3 weeks of this season.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think your opinion on Breece Hall and mine are maybe not.
Who's the quarterback?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Who's the quarterback in 2024?
Can I finish? Thank you. I'm not saying we're in different ballparks, but I think that you're seeing the rose color. You're looking through rose colored glasses, maybe, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just haven't seen anything super special, and therefore, if you're really burning it to the ground, why not take more draft picks and potentially try and move up and get even more first? Like you'll get a first for sure, and maybe a second out of him too. There's a guy like maybe that's the commissioner of our league. Let's maybe not say his name just in case he doesn't want it to be said. maybe he's willing to give you more than a first for him. You know, I would explore the option for sure. If I were you, if I'm really burning it to the ground, burn it to the ground.
Nope, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm keeping Hall. I'm keeping Pollard. I'm keeping CD. Obviously, I just got a couple quarterbacks from you.
See, I'm getting rid of one of the cow. If
that's
I
why I
was
want to get rid of Zeke, even if it ends up being a third. Yes, I will trade him for a third at the end of the day. But now you're interrupting me, to be clear. But Pollard specifically, there's no what I can get back for Pollard. It's worth more to ride it through.
I agree.
Specifically. CD splashed a little bit lately. I have to be a little bit hyperbolic and say, a little bit recency bias there, for sure. But also, he's a young guy. He's a young guy with what should be a good quarterback moving forward per years. Who else?
I know. Okay, we're gonna stop.
That might be it.
For a second.
That might be.
I know you're a Cowboys fan, man. I know. I get it. I think if you're doing a complete rebuild, I'm sticking with one Cowboys player, and I'm not. This is personal philosophy once again. I don't want a running back and a wide receiver from the same team. Maybe Pollard goes elsewhere and it works out in your favor. What if they What if they get rid of Zeke and Tony Pollard's there and you have CD? And I'm like, so once again, going back to my point, is that if you're really burning it to the ground, at least explore all options. Who knows? Maybe someone's willing to.
It would have to be a trade deadline thing, man, for Pollard. Somebody would have to knock my socks off.
Well, just maybe. I would shop anyone around and just listen to offers and be like, nope, that's not what I'm looking for.
To your point,
that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, if you're done,
if you really want to sell the farm, then explore all options.
No,
because maybe someone's.
I don't want to really sell a farm. Okay. When you say sell the farm, clearly you've made this point 3 times in a row that you're literally getting rid of everybody. That's not what a rebuild has to be. I have too many I say too many. I have a small handful. I have 2 or 3. If you really want to get down to it, nitty gritty, young players that are worth keeping, far and away.
And at least in my opinion,
and my first round pick, I'm 0-3.
Right. And at least in my opinion, you don't need to worry about quarterback because of the trade you made with me. Right now, you don't have to worry about quarterback. So you don't need to go out looking for a quarterback in next year's draft.
One would have to fall into my lap in the late first for it to be scintillating enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, because there are at least 2 that come to mind. Really good quarterbacks.
If you were in this exact same position in the 2022 draft. Yeah, taking what's his face?
2022.
Malik Willis in the third would, even in the second would have greatly benefited.
Or Ritter. Kind of feeling that. That was the end of the trade that you cut me off on when you vomited all over it. Said trade partner was a little bit interested in me saying that Singletary and Zeke for a first. That was it. And he said, interesting. And so I waited a day or 2 and then sent him Zeke and Singletary for a 2023 first, a 2024 third, and Ritter. Some throw-ins. I would absolutely get rid of Ritter and the third if he would take Singletary and Zeke for a first. To be clear, it's just a starting point.
I guess if he was really running back needy, yeah. I guess I would, and if I really thought about it.
I'm trying to capitalize on him being 2-1 in the thick of it with a pretty decent roster, but yes, a little bit, probably a lot running back needy, depending on one's opinion. But yeah, no, I think he needs. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said he was interested. And maybe it turns out to not be a first. Maybe it turns out to be a 2024 first, kind of like we ended up with.
A quick side note, by the way, the guy who is currently holding Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. I tried trading for one of those, Jalen Hurts or Jackson, while simultaneously working a deal with you. And I threw
before the Burrow Mahomes deal went through.
Yeah, well, as we were talking.
Oh no,
I was exploring that option
too.
I was just
that's what I meant.
And I threw out. I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but it was definitely a 2023 first, and I wanted to say like a second in 2024.
In my opinion, I think you're doing the right thing in that.
And
sorry,
Burrow,
cut you off, my bad.
And Burrow, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously he wants to hoard all the quarterbacks in the world.
So weird.
And I'm just
in a
like,
single quarterback league, so weird.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you like anyone who doesn't have a quarterback, like to you know, everyone's
punt at this point and draft for the next 2 years. You know, a quarterback in the first or second.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what he's doing.
I mean, I know it's amazing. Look at Lamar.
He probably
Jackson
lucked
scoring...
into it. He probably lucked into it, but at the same time, like, dude, take that.
I don't remember who it is.
Go to the. I don't know
he
either.
Inherited it. It might have been an orphan team at one time.
But take that quarterback that because you have two amazing fantasy quarterbacks. He
should be proactive in dealing them. Exactly.
Yes.
And be a little bit more reasonable in terms of get what you can get because it's a quarterback. Yes, it's more. You've clearly illustrated it's much more important in Dynasty with 30 deep rosters. It's like 12-man league with 30-man rosters. You can't find a quarterback on the quarterback tree, so to speak. You know, you obviously understand that. You see yourself competing for another championship, which is why you invested in capitalizing on Mahomes this year.
And you know what? I invested in it to get maybe an extra 5 or 6 points per game. But you know what? It was worth it to me.
With this running back scoring being down, man. Etienne struggling for you. Yeah, it's touch and go right now. Maybe you did the right thing and bought yourself another chance at a championship. I'd put it that way.
Yeah, I needed to do something, and I was kind of hoping to take Cousins and maybe turn him into something better. Obviously, it took Burrow as well because I was kind of like, well, maybe Burrow ends up being the next
I was stingy
Aaron
to a
Rodgers,
point. I still regret that 2023 not getting the 2023 first, but I'm trying. Going back to our earlier point about Zeke, Eckler, CD, Pollard, some of the guys I am or am not willing to get rid of. I'm trying to get another first, and hopefully my first ends up being high. Yeah, I'm not tearing it down. Clearly, going back to both of our earlier point.
You're not doing a complete rebuild, and I get that.
I don't think I need to. I think
no. I get what you're saying that you need cornerstones, but I think if I was you, I'm at least seeing what I can get for these guys, and maybe
if I was
I get something. I'm like, well, if the price is right, I guess I will go down on a dude, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I consider myself a good drafter and good at Dynasty. I'm not the greatest at redraft, clearly, but I would have to be Mr. College Football, Mr. Rookie, and I consider myself pretty good at the draft, but I would have to be so many years ahead and have so much more time on my hands to feel confident in getting rid of a CD or in particularly a Breece Hall to be like, I can replace him this offseason or next.
I think you can, but
Well, I think your opinion on Hall is low, but hey, man, we're both out there. He still has a lot to show.
I think I'm not conveying how much I like the guy. I'm not head over heels gaga for him,
Anyway, I think we're done.
Wait. We got one more trade degrade. I just traded Adam Thielen for Brandon Cooks. How do you feel about that? Redraft, of course.
Lateral move. A little disappointed in Cooks lately.
A lot disappointed in Thielen.
No, for sure. Yeah, no. Me and you expected another probably.
Cooks has been getting the target
season, but
Cooks has been getting the targets, and Adam Thielen is sometimes
but they
not
both
even
been
on the
scoring like
field.
9 points. I feel like
I think there's still upside for Cooks versus. I'm not sure. Cooks is only like 27, 28.
I would like to see the Minnesota offense get shit together, and that has not been the case. To your point, it has not. But
it's been okay. It's run into.
I still think it's a
pretty
push.
good defense.
I still think it's a push.
I think there's more upside for Cooks than Thielen at
this
point.
Which would take you towards Cooks for sure. But if I don't feel that Cooks can get it together or slash,
and if it's a lateral move, then I didn't really win or lose anything. I made a lateral move. I'm fine with that too.
If I felt more confident that Davis Mills and Cooks could get it together, I would agree with you, but I don't. So I think it's a push.
We'll see. Like I said, lateral move, fine, whatever. At least
lineup. I usually do lineup asking for a friend on Sundays. You want to just not do that? I don't have any handy, to be fair.
Well, I asked you one in mid-show.
You did ask me one mid-show. Did I answer it? I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That's a good one. Oh, that's good.
It was with Lockett and Judy.
Yeah. There was a couple of them. Yep. Involved with Lockett and.
I mean, if you're.
What do you think about? Let's.
What do you think about this? Let's talk some real football for a second.
I was going to do the same thing, but it was going to be Cowboy related. Go ahead.
Oh God, let's
I
not
also
talk
have to pee.
about it.
I also have to pee.
Why don't we do a be right back screen?
Sure. If you want to include this on the segment, sure, we can do that.
I don't care. We're just talking about football on a stream. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
I gotta pee. I'll be right back. We have a question from the audience from Michael Alexander. He says, should I bench Stafford and stream someone else this week?
Oh,
know who they play off the top of my head, but I don't. So I'm going to go Rams.
It's not a very good matchup. I remember that.
Niners. Rams at Niners on Monday night. And he is like, I think I saw somebody had him ranked 18th for the week, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, Stafford hasn't been amazing.
Oh.
I mean, Michael, if you're still viewing us, give us some options that you have available to stream. I mean, like we went through a couple guys. Like I said, Matt Ryan. You said McCorkle Jones.
Brissett,
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby. I almost said Kobe. Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby.
Russ he's still like above 90% on roster percent. So
that's gonna.
You can't stream Russell Wilson, but Cooper Rush was my sleeper. So Jacoby Brissett, Cooper Rush. Rush has a great matchup. So does Brissett. Who was yours, Josh? Who was yours?
Said Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. So there's 3 names for you, Michael, that you might be able to work with. I don't know. I mean, are we done with Wentz or what? What's his matchup? Dallas?
Davis Mills.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't play
Davis
Wentz.
Davis Mills has an okay matchup against the Chargers, who I don't think are going to have J.C. Jackson again, and they're not going to have Joey Bosa for at least this week, if not a few. I think they put him on IR, so he's going to be missing 4 weeks now.
Yep.
So
I heard the same thing. Yep,
the Chargers are the Chargers, like the Bills, like like those 2 teams especially are dealing with some major injuries. So there's another one. Of course you have. I don't like that one.
I mean, if Goff is out there versus Seahawks,
probably not.
Probably
Goff
not.
is not available. Goff is not available in any league I'm in. 10,
really?
12, 40. Yeah, no.
That's fair.
No
That's fair.
league.
He's been playing well. That's why I want to be sure to mention his name.
Trust me,
I'm not taking either side of the Bears-Giants matchup for quarterback. We already talked about Brissett versus Falcons.
I mean, a real dark horse could be Zach Wilson. But
would you dare ride the what was that 3 touchdown performance from Lawrence versus the Eagles this week? No, I say no.
I say no. I know Lawrence has looked a lot better recently, the last
Yes,
2 weeks.
I'm
than he did
believing in him
one.
big picture, but I don't know about this.
I'm like I'm in like with Lawrence right now. I'm definitely not in love with him yet.
Well said. Why didn't I think of that? I could have said it better myself. Okay, that's gee. Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, Jimmy G versus Rams, heck no. You know, obviously the other side of this.
So I mean, like you got your names. My names are definitely Matt Ryan.
The only other one you came up with was
Davis Mills.
Yep,
and maybe if you're looking pretty desperate, Ryan Tannehill. He hasn't done tons so
the Colts
far.
Just got lit up by the Jags.
Yeah, no, that was 2 weeks ago. They held Patrick Mahomes sort of in check.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Sort of.
They beat him, didn't they? Didn't they beat
Ryan
the Chiefs?
Tannehill's been okay so far this year.
Crazy week for the AFC. What are y'all? South? Thank you. Yeah, that's the 3 or 4 names we got there for you, Michael. Thank you for showing up. Please hit the subscribe button. Like the video so you can let us know that we're doing something right, for goodness sakes. Because we're here every Thursday and Thursday night and Sunday morning.
Yep.
What else you got, Josh?
What else do I have?
I feel like you're dragging the show out for no good reason. Although I'm glad Michael showed up. That's all I got. I
wasn't dragging out for no good reason.
I know, I'm messing with you. But I got nothing else. What do you got?
I got some guys I'm not really into this week. Derrick Henry is one of them. Against the Colts. Colts run defense hasn't been as stout this year as it has been in years past, but Derrick Henry is a guy I'm not into this week. I flirted with Miles Sanders, like maybe making my 5 guys. You never should have contained me to 5 because I'm gonna constantly break these rules.
We're trying to limit the show to under an hour, even in the throes of of no bye weeks. We were doing fine. We were doing amazing. Not necessarily the stream. The stream can go a little over. Not like an hour over, but whatever. I'm trying to give you some this or that, some lineup decisions. If you want to continue talking, how about... I think this is a reasonable one. Okay, Lawrence or Russell. That's Trevor Lawrence at Philly, and that's Russell Wilson at the Raiders.
Chris, I don't think I've told you how much I hate you today, so I hate you.
I'm gonna go. What we were talking about. You don't like either of them? Was it that close?
No, I don't like you because I don't like you answering me that question. I guess I'm going Trevor Lawrence, man. I know Russell Wilson has a great matchup.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm torn. I mean, my friend is torn.
Getting thrice burnt by Russell Wilson is like, what is the opposite of he's on fire? Obviously he's ice cold.
En fuego is in flames. So what's Spanish for in ice?
Muy frío. That's very cold.
Very cold. Close enough. How about Irv Smith or Gerald Everett? Irv Smith at Houston.
That brings me back to the Chargers, and I'm kind of worried about Gerald Everett in the sense that I think he's going to have to start blocking more with that offensive line being big.
I think Keenan Allen's going to play, right? Yeah, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing. What was the other thing? Irv Smith. Irv Smith has been kind of okay the last couple of weeks.
It hasn't been that bad.
It hasn't.
There was one real bad week, I think.
I think that was probably week 1, if memory serves.
Zeros. 2 targets and zeros.
Is that week
Philly?
1?
He scored a touchdown, so obviously that's a tight end 1 because that's all you have to That's all you have to do.
All you have to do.
And
that's all you have to do. Tight ends to become a tight end 1. Score a freaking touchdown.
And then last week versus
nice
Detroit,
play.
And then last week versus Detroit, 6 targets, only caught 2 of them. So not such a great day. 5.2.
Did Higgins just throw a nice pass to Jamar
That's a
Chase?
PPR though. That's ESPN. That's I'm on a PPR right now. My apologies. That's a full PPR, should I say? Elsewhere, I had something on Sleeper. Dogged my memory. I try to look at lineups, but not just mine. So Good quandaries. Good questions. I'm not going to include the tie. Okay, so how about Dylan? What is Dylan doing this week? Versus New England.
Yeah.
Clearly. Okay, Eckler or Dylan?
I'm trying to remember who the Chargers are playing.
Eckler, Detroit. No, sorry. Eckler at Houston. Eckler at Houston. I completely looked at the wrong player. Eckler at Houston and New England at Green Bay. So Dylan, or Patriots at Dylan. What? Okay.
It's Eckler, but it's probably a lot closer than it should be.
I've got Eckler currently. All right, that's all I got. I'm ready to get out of here.
Let's call it a day.
Great show. Love it. Show up on Sunday morning, folks, 10 a.m. Central, for our Sunday stream. News, injury updates, last minute lineup advice, banter, coffee. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I started the outro, buddy. It's all you. I got excited.
Adios, everyone. Good luck.
Until next time. Have an amazing weekend. I did it. It gets 4 times.